Oh, because I thought a bitch who ain't put no hearts in the chat says something. I thought a bitch who ain't put no hearts in the chat says something. I know they ain't talking. I know they ain't talking. Black girls to the front. Quickly, quickly. Black girls tap, tap, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Black girls to the front. Quickly, quickly. Look, this is a Black girl. We can make this sound. You went on SNL and said protect Black women. LoveCraft Country said Black girls forward. We doing it. Shout out to the love room. Y'all know what it is. It's a love room for LoveCraft Country. We love on each other. I love y'all. Y'all be loving up on me. This room is full of support, jokes, joy, Blackness, as Black as it can get. I see all the different type of hearts in the chat. I see y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. Thank y'all for being here. I'm hella excited. Y'all were hella excited for episode 8. So we definitely going to do it tonight. Announcements. You know how we have to start. Look, I just changed a ton of stuff on my Patreon. I ain't make it official yet. When you go over there, the tiers are still going to look old, but I'm changing tonight. Promise. Announcement, I am doing the LoveCraft season finale only on Patreon. Sign up. $5 tier, $5 to access the LoveCraft Country season finale dissection. Y'all saw it here first. I only did episode 1 on Patreon. I only did episode 2 on Patreon. After we was coming off of that, I may destroy you, right? LoveCraft Country season finale only on Patreon. Patreon.com/JustLatasha, $5 tier to get access to it. Announcement part 2. I'm removing Thursday dissections to only do them bi-weekly on Patreon. If you guys want access to exclusive dissections, random TV, random film, that is only on Patreon. $5 tier, $5 tier, $5 tier. Y'all want to get on video and talk with me in real time to do a dissection? $15 tier. That's the VIP ticket to a dissection. I started off too strong. Started off way too strong. Blow my voice out. I ain't even get to going yet. I see y'all with these beautiful hearts. Shout out to, I see a lot of my patrons in here. I really hurt myself, y'all. I see y'all in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my moderator, Just Nicole. What's up, Cleve? A Patreon right there. What's up, A Barty? What's up, Cali Girl? My patrons right there. Damara, a patron right there. Cassia, a patron right there. Y'all are so good to me. Y'all are so good to me. If you have not followed me on social media, let's go ahead and fix that. Let's fix that. I am on Instagram at JustLatasha. I am on Twitter at JustLatasha404. Second week in a row, my little LoveCraft Country tweet been getting doing little numbers. But I hope the writers see I'm paying attention to the outstanding work that they're doing. I want to implore Black people. Thank you, guys. I want to implore Black people to enjoy yourself. I don't know what is going on, but Black people be so mad. And I know why. I know why we're mad. But I promise you, it is safe and it is okay for you to experience joy sometimes. How y'all are being triggered 8 episodes into LoveCraft Country, stop watching the show. There are shows that I was like, I don't like that. And I stopped watching it. Y'all have watched it 8 Sundays in a row and y'all have the same complaints. Somebody tweeted me yesterday, so because they did Emmett Till's death on a white woman, that means it's really a white narrative recompassed as Black trauma, and I'm triggered. Man, we on episode 8. Where have you been? Why are you still tuning in and being triggered 8 episodes in? And if you can't handle violence on a white body, that means you shouldn't be watching TV or film at all. What the fuck? Y'all kill me. I'm sorry. I think the only pushback I was feeling was about Yahima, the intersex spirit. And I think people were saying something about violence on Montrose and being gay, and or the black gay man is the one that murders a POC intersex person. Yes, yes. The rest of the shit y'all be on, I don't know what the fuck y'all be talking about. I swear to God. And I really tried to see and understand the colorism conversation. I really did. I was like, let me see how he talking to Letty. Let me see how he treating Gia. Let me see how Ruby is doing the thing. Let me see where this colorism, what they doing to light skin. Every single character in this show is a tortured, haunted soul with deep wounds. I think the only one that was okay was Uncle George. And you see how he turned out? What is we fighting for? I'm trying to see it, and I'll be first on some colorism, dark skinned girls, black women protect. I'll be on it. If I didn't know me, I would have thought I hated men. I would have thought from my tweets, I hated men. So if I saw it, I'd be right behind y'all, but it's giving fuck. Now that I got that out my system, let's dissect, shall we? I'm so happy to see y'all in here. We got a nice chunky room tonight. If you are new to my dissections, you guys found me on Twitter. You guys are going to enjoy yourselves. Please don't be shy. Jump on into the chat. We all like to hypothesize, criticize, use our director's eyes. And nothing is wrong or right. We just like to think together and have fun and unravel it amongst ourselves. That's what this love room is about, all right? Positive vibes only. Super positive vibes only. Okay, that is annoying. That is annoying. LoveCraft Country, episode 8, Jig-a-Boo, aka Jig-a-Boo equals the Bobo. I'm already fucking up. Here we go. I'm sorry, Cleve. Episode 8, Jig-a-Boo, Jig-a-Bobo. Thank you. I'm like, where am I getting lost at? Jig-a-Bobo, which is the combination of the racist term Jig-a-Boo merged with Emmett Till's nickname Bobo. We've been seeing this character who was Diana's friend across the season popping in and out. And that was confirmed in this episode to be the representation of Emmett Till. We lost him, y'all. I thought the show maybe was going to save him. I'm like, maybe. But you know what? I thought about it further today and I was like, that would have been kind of dark, playing with a dead boy's image for a show. Like if that show saved him and he stayed alive and we watched him do things, it would just be very odd. So he's laid to rest. And a Jig-a-Boo is an extremely disparaging and offensive term used to refer to a Black person. This episode was Misha Green's directorial debut, and she co-wrote it with Shannon M. Houston, both who I follow on Twitter. In this episode, the theme tonight is Truth Reveals. We are telling the truth. We are telling the truth. We are telling the truth. More patrons popped up in here. Shout out to Myra Sharice. Shout out to Cali Girl. Shout out to CJ Lorraine. Shout out to Ellie Luna. Thank y'all so much for being here, patrons. Y'all know I adore you. I skipped the opening shot today. The opening shot was that heat wave, and I wanted to see the visuals, how it aligned with anything else. But I didn't find nothing. So we're actually going to start with Diana Freeman, played by the incredible Jada Harris. She held it down. Black girls to the front tonight. Miss Jada Harris, what a brilliant, talented actor. Who in this shot alone, we are opening up on our Dutch angle. And in this series, we've seen this angle used several times when the world tilts, right? The ultimate horror shot. Something is not right. Something is off. Something is askew. And the gag is, out of all the magic we've seen, her ultimate horror is her real life trauma. This is it. She is living the embodiment of this ultimate horror with her father passing. We are at the funeral of her dear friend Emmett, and her mother is currently missing. This is a lot for a child to take, right? This is a lot. Song overlaying Bananarama's Cruel Summer. I got to do the A-E-I-O-U tonight. A-E-I-O-U. Song tonight is Cruel Summer by Bananarama. And we have our first prayer, the first spell, if you will, the Black American, the original Black American spell, after they stripped our names, identity, family, bloodline, history, legacy, spirituality, identity, value, humanity. The list goes on. A woman prays to God, asking for protection for her and her people from all evil, right? This is our go-to magic, what we've learned to be our religion. A lot of Black folk have dove headfirst into Christianity because our ancestors were beaten and murdered into believing it. Sorry to break it to you if you haven't heard that before. I want to let you know God is way more powerful than any religion. And we have this sea of Black people behind a gate, Blackness literally being imprisoned. Even though we free, we can go outside, we can do what we want, we can scroll, except for even the sundown time, you better get your ass in the house. But look at these Black people in prison and caged, right? And we have Montrose saying they butcher our children without consequence. 65 years later, to this day, we are saying the same thing. We are saying the same thing. Shay Maximilian says, in the opening shot, there is so much going on. The constant portrayal of Black people being huddled like cattle by the police in the name of order during Emmett Till's funeral. And isn't that right? We don't even have a space to mourn freely. That's how policed and watched over and encaged we are. Police didn't give us not one break. I don't care who died. Disgusting. Disgusting. So we're going to lean into our color themes tonight, which are Black and white. And you can take it literally, Black versus white, and you can take it of the war of humanity, right? We have baby D, Diana, dressed in white, who is pure and naive and innocent, right? Standing with the very experienced, the very woke, the very aware Ruby, dressed in Black. These are where our themes and our colors are going to combat themselves, right? And Montrose calls Dee's awakening to trauma a Negro's rite of passage in this country, child or not. And that is the God-forsaken truth. You learn as a Black child what racism is. I remember learning about racism from my daddy, I think when I was 6. Why aren't Black people on TV? Because this is how Black people are treated in this country. Ripped the wool right over my eyes. Just ripped it off, ripped the Band-Aid off. I remember the night I learned about racism. And I've had that experience ever since. I literally do not know privilege free. Well, I know privileges. That's a very deep conversation. But I literally do not know freedom as a Black woman in this country. Black and white, this photo, this legendary historic photo of Emmett Till. His innocence during his childhood was met with the harsh realization of America's racism in his death. It didn't matter that he was a child. It didn't matter how much he knew or didn't know. Racism has caused harm to him, right? And just like Shay Maximilian said, the Black mourners do not have peace. The police are pushing in and badgering these people even during mourning, during a heat wave, right? This shot was lovely. Did y'all notice a little crown behind her head? Morally Gray says, I really appreciated that they got the point across without making us see this little boy's murder. I was preparing myself before this episode. How much respect, which is why I don't understand. I can't keep yelling at people all day. I don't understand what people was mad about on Twitter. I really don't at this point. If they would have did it to Emmett Till's portrayal, the actor, the Black body, y'all would have been mad. If they did it to a white person instead, y'all mad. Like they put a little crown, they positioned her in front of the Zenith radio sign where it looks like a crown is above her head. I thought it was so beautiful, but literally Dee is on the other side of innocence, blocked from innocence, right? Look at all these toys. Look at all these childhood things. Look at the gumball machine. It's over. It is absolutely over. So this is going to get complicated, and I really want y'all to stay with me. We see as Dee turns around, there's two girls laughing in the distance, and she does this guttural cry, laugh, this emotional, it's so messy that we don't even know like what's coming out. She's just expressing. But I'm gonna ask y'all, who do we think these two girls are? I'm gonna jump in the chat real quick. Who do we think these two girls are? Does she already have some kind of tap in before we meet the police? Indie Girl says, yes, I did not want to see that body in the casket. That would have been too much. This show shows such respect to that family. Uplifted his name. Mostly Mosley, look! Dee's innocence died the same day she attended Bobo's funeral. Who do we think these two girls are, y'all? Asia asks, was that the same girls that were possessed from the book? Who they is? Khaled says the two girls are the demons that, you're asking, are the two girls the demons that attacked her? Maybe from the Uncle Tom's Cabin book. Janelle notices they're wearing blue and red. All right, these are just foreshadowings, her childhood. They mix the realities we have to live in. Cleve. What I really love about this show is that they allow Black girls and Black women to fully grieve and go into rage and fear and anger and what the many times they let Diana just fucking yell, scream, get it out, right? We're gonna come back to this. We'll come back. All right. It makes sense in my head, and I'm trying to figure out the words to make this cohesive. So before Diana leaves the scene where she sees these two laughing girls, there's a reflection in that childhood mirror that says closed for Emmett, which Mostly Mosley said her innocence died, right? Then we have her approaching this alley, and we see the red and the blue, which somebody noticed in the chat. These girls are wearing red and blue. So I'm trying to draw the parallels between what we really feel, the truth of our emotions, that rage, that anger, that fear, that sadness, that super tiredness, that yell that we want to get out. I think that's in the reflection. That's a side of Black people that white people don't allow us to show. That's what is not allowed to be seen. So imagine Black people walking around this country with their truth hidden. The laughter, the niceness, the giggling when ain't shit funny is the mask. We have to walk around with that fake ass face all day to make white people, white supremacy comfortable, no matter what the violence. She just got finished throwing rocks. She just got finished screaming. And when these cops pull up, don't we do that? Don't we do that? Her joy and her innocence closed for Emmett. It's done. It's done. Ain't shit funny. It's done. So let's get into Lancaster. MM said, I don't know why she walked into the alley. She know better. My thoughts exactly. I said the alley. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Shay Maximilian says the anger, red, and the joy, blue, were chased off and she was left with herself. Confusion of self and path. Let's do it! Jordan, that red and blue like flashing cop lights, a trigger for a lot of Black Americans because we know trouble's around the corner when the cops pull up and it's supposed to mean the exact opposite. How we did that? Racism. Mara Cherie says, you can tell there's a Black woman behind this show. Misha's DNA everywhere. Ain't shit funny. Whew, let's get into this loser, Lancaster, who finds the comic left behind in Kansas, where Hippolyta disappeared and Tick returned from the void, breaking that non-time machine where that dead cop was, right? And Lancaster and his partner make a marking in chalk by Deanna's feet and call forth maggots. They call forth maggots. We're talking death. And as his partner is choking Diana, she says the infamous words that we have here, if you're paying attention to the Black political movement, I can't breathe, said 11 times by Eric Garner as a cop choked him to death, triggering his asthma, which made him pass away. And this is the death of so many Black Americans and Black people located in America. When we shut down our truths, when we can't speak, when we can't breathe, when we can't voice what's really inside, that is a small death every day. To hide your identity, to walk around in that constant mask, to appease people who hate you, that is a constant murder of self, of value every single day. This cop choked this girl and called forth maggots in a dialect. This is exactly why Emmett Till's mother showed his body. Look at it. Look at it, be ugly, let it trigger you, go outside and vomit, do what you have to do, but look what they did to my son. You will know the truth of his death. You will know his legacy, and we speak his name to this day. Now he's not dead. We know Emmett Till. America has attempted to murder our identity since the birth of this country. Diana being choked, saying she can't breathe, while looking at this very racist stereotype of a Black servant for this cream of wheat ad, right? And this goes into so many food products, the slave servant symbol, the Uncle Ben's, the Aunt Jemimas, right? These racist stereotypes are the monsters she faces as a Black person in America, child or not. We are haunted by these racist images and stereotypes. We buy the rice. Who the fuck is Uncle Ben? Aunt Jemima, that little mammy figure pouring that hot, sticky syrup all over your fresh pancakes. These monsters we face every day of who they think we are, not who we are, who they think we are. That is a haunting for us, walking around this world every day, looking at these images. That's who they think we are. They tried to murder us. Leaning into our theme again, a truth reveal. Gia came her ass over the water, didn't she? Gia meets Letty. Look how far apart they are. They're literally worlds apart, right? And the worlds collide. We're gonna have to have a conversation. And the lighting here, this dark versus light, which is some of the tricks they use in several points of this show, where Letty, this picture actually shows the opposite, but if you watch it on your television, Letty is actually more shadowed than Gia, who's kind of being enlightened. So Letty's in the dark because she's unknown of what this secret is, what information this woman has, and Gia sits in the light, enlightened with the truth. Well, let me go ahead and tell you, sis, where your man was at before he came out here. We've said once before, as we get into the scene with Tick and Christina, that when you see a checkered floor, that means it is a split in identity. Tick quickly here wants to exchange the key to the orrery, or the key from the orrery that controls that non-time machine, that dimension jumping machine. He wants to hand that key to Christina in exchange to learn how to cast some spells. But he was a little trickster, didn't he? Because that machine is broke, but she ain't know that. But he knew that. So he's trying to come in and a little sneak attack, right? And Christina says something here that's going to matter a lot later, and we're going to definitely circle back. Christina tells him to cast, to do these spells, you need words, energy, intention, and a body. You need perfect alignment. Let's look back here into the lighting yet again. Let's put on our director's eye. Christina in the light, Tick shadowed, because she has a master plan too, and we don't know what the hell she gonna do. She's telling people what she gonna do, but you never really know what Christina gonna do. And she got that little smirk when she do tell you what she gonna do, because that's only a little part of it. Sneaky ass. Mara said about Gia, you know that flight was long and expensive. Why is she there messing up Letty's life like condolences from Insecure? Y'all gotta call that lady by her name, please. Yes, the machine is broken. It cracked and broke and steamed and shut down when that cop was shot in the last episode. She is in red, Queen Latifah. Why? Why? Christina draws a symbol of protection in the dust in the tomb. She draws this symbol of protection on a dead place. She draws the symbol of protection on a dead place. And she says you need chalk or dust or blood to recreate this symbol to do the spell of immortality, invulnerability, casting spells. Let me ask y'all, and let me jump back into the chat. Why do y'all think the cop drew this protection symbol by Diana's feet? Do y'all remember what had happened? Why they drew this symbol at Diana's feet if they were so mad? Morally Grayish asks, could the checkered floor also represent the game of chess they're playing with each other? They're both being sneaky. It could. It absolutely could. But remember, we saw that checkered floor when Tick and Letty were arguing down to the library because he wanted her to go home and she wanted to be outside with him. And even though they're arguing on the surface, what they really want to say is, I love you. So more times than not, it represents one person having a moral battle. Hey, Barty says, let's deal with one trauma at a time. Forget Condola. Shay Maximilian estimates that the cops drew the protection symbol by Diana so he can always get access to her. Mostly Mosey says the cops didn't know if she knew magic or not. It's my guess. Mitzi says Tick and Christina meeting in a cemetery. Interesting choice for a meetup. It sure is. Goddess says maybe he didn't want the demons to hurt her until he is ready. I like it. I like it. Hollywood YSA say, was it the same symbol? It was not the same symbol. No, it wasn't. I like it. I like it. We are going to answer this question later. And Christina lets it be known that her big master plan is that she is going for immortality. Titus couldn't do it. Her daddy couldn't do it. She is next up. She is going to try to go for immortality. Let's get back to D. We know what mirrors mean in this room. I know y'all know. We know what mirrors mean in this room. It means a split of identity. What you are, how you're walking around in your life is not true to what you're pretending to be, or vice versa. Maybe your fake version is walking around in this real life and your real version is in the mirror. Depends on what's happening, right? So we have here, of course, that something after meeting with the police, something in her has definitely changed. And not only is she changed, she's doubled. I'm gonna just leave it. She's doubled because we gonna layers. She's doubled. And we start to see the loss of her innocence when she curses at Montrose. Tell me the fucking truth. Oh, you grown now. Now we're using big words. She's grown now. She adds darkness to herself, wears a black cap. I think I forgot to say earlier as well, when we saw her in that arcade, that was the first time the camera went from here when she was outside sweating at the funeral and she went to that arcade by herself. We expanded to a little lower from waist to head, so you saw a black belt. We're starting to see the loss of innocence, right? We're adding black onto this pure white innocent outfit. So now that she adds the black cap, leaving that innocence behind, allowing darkness to come on in. Also see that pop of green, which means she's on a new journey. And we see a book, this haunting book. So let's just run down some history real quick. Uncle Tom's Cabin is a novel by Harriet Beecher Stowe, published in 1851 and in book form 1852. It is an abolitionist novel that achieved worldwide popularity, particularly among white readers in the North, by vividly dramatizing the experience of slavery. Says every slave movie made from 2012 to now. Please stop, please stop. On the cover, we have an image of a pickaninny, the dominant racial caricature of Black children for most of this country's history. They were child coons. Pickaninnies had bulging eyes, unkempt hair, red lips, wide mouths, which they stuffed watermelon into, and they were routinely shown on postcards, posters, being chased or eaten by alligators, running towards fried chicken. And this is an aesthetic designed to stigmatize and infantilize an entire race of people, reassuring white audiences of their own assumptions of superiority. In short, the very reason why Emmett is dead, because they don't see us as human, and that includes Black children, unkempt, savage little beings to be fed and tossed to alligators. This is the reason why Emmett Till is dead, right? Diana, again, facing these monsters, facing the monster of what America thinks of her as a Black child maneuvering this space. Let's go a little deeper. Let's go a little deeper, where the cover of the book changes. I want to go back to Dee's reflection that we saw earlier, clothes for Emmett. This monster cracking her innocence, destroying her lily white innocence, right? Cracking that mask that she has to maneuver, that sweet, happy child. We're going to go ahead and break that. We're going to go ahead and break that. Look at that monster destroying that other character, who is on the cover is a white girl. But we have to wear that white supremacist mask to appease the whiteness around us. That monster cracked it. I want to take a look at her hair. And I noticed this on the first watch. I was like, her edges are visually extremely different, and they're rough. She's putting water only in the front of her face, so her edges are getting all messed up, and they're rough to look similar to the pickaninny. This is how, again, America sees her, this sweet little baby child, as its monster, transforming into darkness. And we have music overplaying from the early minstrel show called Stop That Knocking. And when we see these monsters, this song, Stop That Knocking, starts playing. Look at these masks. Look at the monster America has attempted to turn Ruby into, right? They are wearing the masks of each other, which is why we only see their reflections in the mirror. Christina donned as Will, Ruby transforming into Hillary Davenport, this white woman. And she says in her grief to Will that Emmett looked like a monster. What America has made Emmett Till to look like. He looked like a monster. And in her grief, she runs to whiteness for safety and comfort. Ruby, what are you doing? First stage of grief is denial. Runs to whiteness for comfort. It was a nasty sex scene, y'all. That was a lot. That was a lot, right? And Christina challenges her. You want me to feel empathy and guilt because I don't care. Look, white people, just start saying it. Let's stop pretending. Say it. Say it. We know you don't care. Christina says she don't care about Emmett Till, but she challenges Ruby back. You feel guilty for wanting to be here. On the day that this boy who you crying over died, you ran right to me. So what does that make you? Face crack. Face crack. I couldn't imagine fucking on no white on Emmett Till's death funeral day. Absolutely. Turning into a white person on the day of Emmett Till's funeral? Absolutely not. Let's meet our demons, Topsy and Bopsy. Topsy, literally on the cover of Uncle Tom's Cabin. That is the name of the character in real life and literary history. Topsy was considered the comedic relief in the book. So I'm jumping into the chat. What do these Topsy and Bopsy demons have to do with Diana? I'm jumping into the chat. Why do y'all think these Topsy and Bopsies haunt Diana specifically? We got a nice room in here tonight. Cupid is nice, who says, I don't think Ruby is selfish. She's confused. Mara Sharice, of course you would love that sex scene. Ooh, choreography was popping, Albert. What do we think Topsy and Bopsy are haunting Diana for? Topsy and Bopsy's asses, nightmare fuel. Dee's duality as well. UK Leonie says something about the twin thing. D. Abrams said, I think they represent the being chased. By demons and incoming doom and needing to face inner demons that maybe only you can see or fix. Cassia says they are the manifestation of her rage. This is the side of Black girls they're afraid to see. They are both not serious and a threat. Ooh. Asia says, I think they haunt her to remind her how the white gaze will always view us to shuck and jiving monsters. I'm in a thread with y'all. I think Diana is having a serious identity crisis, right? Who is she versus who America expects her and sees her to be? These are her own demons, the hurt, the rage, the anger. She's no longer that cutesy playing on the street kid. She's becoming this rage-filled monster. Is all of it like in a nasty mess? Let's get into some more mess, leaning back into our themes where truths are revealed. Gia confirms once again she is a Kumio. It's in her nature, because she is a monster, to kill 100 men, cracking Tick's face. What's your excuse? Tick is having an identity crisis. Is he a monster to whom's making? Is he a monster to himself? Is he a monster that America made? Is he a monster to America by being a Black man walking around? This land is their land. The truth comes out again. Gia returns because she loves Tick. Well, let me tell you about these niggas. Tick didn't talk to her. His reflection did. That means he presented a mask to Gia so she can get the fuck ASAP. He didn't talk to her. His mask did. He had to put on a front. So I'm going to ask y'all this. Y'all think Tick still love her? Sister Punk said, fuck Tick for treating Gia like that. I agree. He is not good with women. And the girl said, I had such an issue with Tick in this scene. Nasty man, isn't he? Nasty man. So y'all think he still love her? Because you know, this how niggas act when they like somebody. They start at 4 years old when they start hitting you and beating you upside the head, talking about, I like you. Well, why would you do that? Why would you do that? What is a single succubus female? Y'all all agree. Y'all all agree. He do love her. He do love her. And Letty said something that we got to pay attention to. Well, you fucked up because everybody but you done died since you've been back. Everybody but you done died but you since you've been back. I'm gonna keep it funky with y'all. I think he's still gonna die. I think he'll have like a whole resurrection because this is what this entire season has been, including this episode, which I'll draw themes later. I think he's definitely gonna die. There's no way he's getting off the hook and everybody else died but him. But I think he'll be back. We gotta have a season 2. Can we have a season 2? CJ says, Tick is ridiculous. It's niggas. Well, when Diana tries to tell her truth to Letty, she can't breathe, she chokes, and she suffocates. Just asking ourselves some questions. How does our community suffocate us and allow us to suffer alone? Where do we not show up for each other in our trauma and our hurt and our distractions of Blackness? How do white people suffocate us by not allowing us to tell the truth? We understand that Letty's in too much pain to help Dee. She thinks this is not serious. She literally can't see the suffering on this child's face. I gotta give it to Montrose. He tried to help her. He tried to help her. UK Leone is right on the money, who says everyone has to have a second reborn. Yes, and we are going to draw that out, right? She finds Woody buried in the bushes, knowing that people was lying to her. We lean back into our theme, but the truth is revealed. Hippolyta is gone, and the family is, in fact, lying to her. But let's fix it. We got things to fix. Look at them in front of this repair shop. And what is the medicine? What do we prescribe? The truth. They was just confessing everything to each other. They was from the face front. They've been lying to each other so bad. There were so many things unsaid, so many things unspoken, all that anger between these two men. And when you get behind them, when you can't see their faces, what lies behind them? The truth, the medicine, the prescription, what we needed. Montrose confesses that as a boy, he was caught with another boy in his childhood, and the pastor found out. He didn't explore his sexuality any further until after Tick's mother died. Tick tells the truth about how he went into that time void, but he went to the future and came back out with the LoveCraft country book. A woman in a hood with a robotic arm handed it to him. I think it was that black god Hippolyta saw. I think. And and further about the LoveCraft country book, it was authored by George Freeman, who we originally assumed was the uncle, but we find out was his unborn son that Letty is carrying. Between these two men, they absolutely cannot relate as father and son, but as two fathers, when your boy became a man, as two fathers, we found something. Just a little background knowledge here, a little research. In Mac Ruff's novel Lovecraft Country, which this series is based on, Tick's cousin Horace is visited by Captain Lancaster, and it's not Diana like in the series. Horace is haunted by a demon doll who looks like a garish, racist stereotype of African tribesmen, and followed by Jim Crow ads. George Freeman, Tick's son, tells the Freeman family story in this Lovecraft Country book, but makes some changes. And in this book, Uncle George survives the encounter in Arnhem. Christina is Caleb, and Diana is Horace. So we've got some changes, but we're getting back to the original source material. Whew. UK Leone is dragging the fathers who want to be the two fathers who want to be fathers but not husbands. Jesus Christ. Well, the pastor was caught with the man. The pastor didn't find out. The pastor got caught out. Oh, Queen Latifah says he still ain't telling him he ain't his daddy though. There's still more secrets in the claim. There's still more secrets down there. It'll be D. It's gotta be D. No, it's D. Yes, Kay. I love Montrose in this episode. He really tried to be caring and loving with D, something he did not do with Tick when he was a child. Didn't we see that turnaround? Ooh. Ooh. Y'all are going off in the chat. I'm seeing. I'm forgetting I got to do a show. I'm forgetting. I'm watching y'all. Here we go. We got a second prayer of the episode. Letty prays, begging God for protection, begging God for forgiveness. Whatever you have up there, please give it to Tick, give it to me, give it to his family. Please protect us. And Christina meets her down to this church and says she won't make Tick invulnerable for him, but for you, Letty. I'll do it for you. And refuses to use, or maybe she took it at the end, takes the photos of Titus's pages to cast spells. They help each other out, but more than Letty is prepared for. Like Ruby during that disgusting sex scene, Letty is reborn, but differently. She has the mark of Cain. This is the spell of invulnerability. Letty cannot be killed. And not ironically, but very intentionally, it's in the same spot where she died. This is her rebirth. This is her rebirth. You died before. It won't happen to you again. I tell you what, it won't happen to you again. Same place she got shot. What a strong, courageous baby. Y'all said, how Christina got in church without burning? What a strong, courageous baby. Oh, whew. Bringing us back to the symbol they drew at her feet. Lancaster, I believe, protected her so she can deliver that orrery. She is his property. It's given slavery. He's going to protect her to use her. And some of y'all said that in the chat. What she do? F you, Lancaster. Spits on him, pieces out. I ain't working for you. I don't owe you nothing. You will get nothing from me. And he says something we need to remember. To hell with this girl. She's already dead. Ladies, gentlemen, and my babies, she died in that alley. This is a theme of deaths and rebirths. When Ruby changes from Ruby into Hillary and back into Ruby, her body has to die and break and fall apart in order to be reborn. And they call it like an unwounding, or Christina tells Ruby that you're being reborn when you come back into the world. Letty being shot and died, giving that invulnerability mark of Cain on her rib, because it ain't gonna happen to you again. She is reborn. I think Diana died in that alley. And y'all said her innocence died in the alley, but I think there was something strange that happened when the cop was choking her until they let her go. There was like a gap in sequence. It was like she was being choked and then she woke up and they were walking away. Because she came back different. There's something different. She came back different. And Lancaster says after he's the one who did the spell on her, to hell with that girl, she's already dead. Y'all saying, fuck you, pig. The unmaking. Whew. Yeah, that spit was nasty. I couldn't. The spit was nasty. It really was. It really was. Going full rage with this incredible speech that the writer Shannon M. Houston tweeted. Speech by the 11-year-old girl, Naomi Waldler, March for Our Lives. Speaking about legacy, how our stories disappear, how we can't be heard, how no one sees us. And as she's leaving Lancaster's office, walking down a hall full of portraits of white men, because they get to have a legacy. They get to tell their stories. They get to live down in history and infamy, and we get to repeat their names when they've done nothing special. Black girls are not to be forgotten. Let's get back into some truths here. Montrose and Tick attempting to read and do the spells. Now we learn here, and not that it's funny, but Montrose is dyslexic. So just throwing it out there, what if he's reading the wrong words? What if he is reading the wrong words? Yeah, Ari, like Dad did. Like Letty did. Like Uncle George did. But something came back. Jem says Z may be in the shadow world in between. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to come back to this. Christina pays two men to recreate Emmett Till's death on her body. Now, here's where you know Black people were in control of the show. They said, we're not going to do it to no Black bodies. We're not going to recreate Emmett's body. We're not going to go inside that funeral. We're not going to relive that. Here's what we can do. That disgusting, sick violence on Christina instead. And Christina using this sequence and Ruby's begging for her empathy. You should feel guilty that you don't have to deal with this. You should feel empathy that this happened to this 14-year-old boy. Doing two things at once, testing her powers and magic to become invulnerable and to attempt to feel the empathy that Ruby asked her to feel. We have these deaths and these rebirths. Christina makes it out, gaining her mark of Cain, gaining the invulnerability. And just like Diana in the beginning, letting out this confused, overwhelming, traumatic, guttural sound, this laugh, this cry, this mixture, we don't quite know what it is, but it's so much emotion. Both of them having the same confusing reaction, right? More truths. Ruby tells the truth about staying with Christina and tells Letty that she's going to learn magic from her. Lancaster, what? Cannot get in the goddamn house? Fuck you, pig. Fuck you, pig. Face crack. You done smashed that little pig face on that little invisible shield, huh? Let's ask an honest question here. None of the white neighbors thought to wipe the goat blood off the door? It don't wash off? I would have washed it off. They discover the truth of Lancaster and the police force's magic. Diana using her tools for help. Well, if you're going to take my voice, I have something else to communicate and leave something behind. She draws a picture of these Pickaninny demons haunting her, one right behind her. Using the tool of freedom and protection, mirroring that image shot of Jackie Robinson saving Atticus and the Red Princess from the Cthulhu in episode 1, being the hero. Here's to all the Black girls that have to fight the demons all on their own. Get the little girl in the head. Hit her right in the head. Invulnerability. I want to yell. Letty discovers she has gained the power of invulnerability. Having died before, she can no longer be killed. Montrose, move! And this is a language. Kaylin said, how was the priestess? Is she okay? This is a language. Black folks usually know how this ends. We know how this ends. but something was in the works. Something was in the works. Y'all remember in Black is King where the black and white chess pieces were moving and Jay-Z's monologue overlaid that and was like, there's no light without dark, there's no good without bad. You need both. It's a conversation. How every character in here is deeply wounded and deeply flawed, how every character must face how they've been a monster to others and how they've been imposed as a monster, how they've been invalidated due to the monsters that seek to end their life and their peace. The good and the bad is the conversation. When we saw Tick in that checkered floor wearing that black and white, we had a split of identity because he was already something else. He walked into that tomb and said, it is his birthright. He walked into that tomb of death and said, it is his birthright. Just like his birthmark, he was already something else. Look at that big shadow that connects him. This story is fucking good. This story is too good. This story is too good. It's his birthright. Which makes me believe Montrose probably didn't read that spell correctly because he's already who he is. We called this in like what, episode 4? Episode 3? Episode 2? You too busy trying to be a son of Adam when you might be God? Like he been something else already. Bring out the niggas. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a nigga. The nigga shoggoth. The spell worked. You got a Hulk, we got a nigga. The spells from the beginning of the episode, the prayers from the beginning of the episode to now. Something worked. Something worked. Something worked. And we thought that this shoggoth, this black shoggoth was walking around wanting to just get rid of the people that were shooting him. So we're thinking Tick is unprotected and this thing is just going to save him for last. Look at this dumb bitch. Fly, copper, fly. And we learn that shoggoth belongs to him. We got a nigga shoggoth, y'all. I want to remind you and bring it back to Christina's words. To cast, you need words, energy, intention, and a body. Perfect alignment. Which spell worked? Which one? All of it. All of it. The words, the first prayer, the energy, Letty's prayer, the intention, Montrose, and Montrose couldn't have been the words because he's dyslexic. I'm sure he said them words wrong. The body, Tick, and Emmett. Because if Emmett hadn't died, we wouldn't have got the collective Black prayer to call for the protection of evil against the monsters and the racists. One and the same. All spells worked. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me for episode 8 of LoveCraft Country. I am only doing the LoveCraft Country season finale on Patreon for the $5 access tier. We're going to do exclusive dissections only on Patreon twice a month. The LoveCraft Country dissection will only be on Patreon, the season finale. Next week, I'm here for episode 9, episode 10. Episode 10 is only on patreon.com/JustLatasha. It's only on patreon.com/JustLatasha, the season finale of LoveCraft Country. I know y'all don't want to miss it. Shout out to all my new viewers. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Do not leave here without giving a thumbs up, sharing the content, subscribing Do not leave here without becoming a Patreon, patreon.com/JustLatasha. Do not leave here without following me on social media. I am JustLatasha404 on Twitter. I am JustLatasha on Instagram. Send me some DMs. I read them all. Thank you for being here, your time, your energy. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to everyone viewing. Thank you for throwing hearts up in the chat. Shout out to the Love Room. Shout out to the Love Room. Thank you for throwing so much hearts in the chat. You guys are incredible, amazing. I'm going to do something really cute for Thursdays. If you guys want exclusive dissections, that is only on Patreon twice a month. And I will see you later. Oh, wait, I forgot how to end it. Wait.